Hi fam, thanks for coming back. Let me turn up the volume. Thanks for coming back for my new viewers. My name is Elle. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Um, Sorry I've been away. A lot has gone on. I did not record because I was, how do I say this? Okay, first off, let me say for my new viewers, my vlogs are basically about my experiences, um, how I feel, just about everything, just my life with regards to me being in a twin flame. I don't know how to phrase it anymore. Energy. I'm yeah. Um, I have identified who my twin is. We were in a relationship years ago. And that's just basically what this vlog is about. So yeah. So anyway, so the last time I recorded was I think around the time of the new moon, which was way too long ago. I'm so sorry, but so much has happened. I'm just going to start from whatever I could remember. One of the reasons that I did not record was, like I said, I guess because I was extremely emotional. The energy in this connection that I have with this other individual who is my twin flame is extremely strong. And for many years, because of our physical separation, for many years, I have tortured myself mentally with questions as to why he did not choose to stay with me in the relationship and continue on with our lives. He chose to take a different path, down a different road with somebody else. And I thought I got to a point in my spiritual growth whereby I was of a better understanding of my emotions, why they come up, the things that I need to do to work with them, figure out why they're there, and just constantly heal. Constantly heal. More recently, what happened is that I'll call him my beloved or my twin, reached out to me, happy as usual. He's always happy. And he expressed to me that he finally got the opportunity to sit down and speak with his significant other, who happens to be his wife, in depth about what he's doing, like, his drive, his desire, his goals, what he wishes to accomplish spiritually. And he was finally able to express this to her. And when he was telling me about the conversation, my stomach started hurting. Then my chest started hurting. And I know what that means. It doesn't mean something good at all. And what I attributed it to was jealousy. So, and then after he told me about the conversation, I felt a complete disconnect from him. Completely disconnected from him. Completely disconnected from my guides. I was just like basically lost. I tried to get it together on my commute home from work, because he told me at the end of a work day. I was fighting tears. I came home. I was trying to go through the steps that I had gone through all of these years to get to the point of not necessarily feeling the emotion, but not just getting crazy with it. I expressed it. Yes, I may have expressed it not to other people, but I definitely expressed it in my writing. I have definitely expressed my emotions in the songs that I sing and the songs that I play and the way that I dance. So I try not to cry all over the place in front of people. I cry behind closed doors. Yeah, yeah, I definitely do. I cry I silently cry to my guides. I beg them for strength and just the ability to be able to identify them, not by names. Like I said to them, basically, I don't need to know your name. I just want to be able to identify you with how you communicate with me, if that is acceptable for you. And I was like, I felt like I was, like climbing down that ladder back to go back down to my lowest. And those of you who are in a twin flame uh, connection, or who share twin flame energy with um, another twin that is now on this plane, and you communicate with them or are able to communicate with them or have communicated with them and experienced separation, you definitely understand what I mean when I say climbing down that ladder, because it's for me, um, it was not, for me, the breakup was not a sudden I'm like down at the bottom. I knew it was gonna happen. Okay, I knew it was gonna happen. I felt it. But at that time, I was spiritually young and spiritually immature, emotionally young and emotionally immature. And I have definitely grown. But like I said, I'm continuously growing, just like I'm continuously healing. And when he said this to me, I did not realize that this might not have had anything. Um, I didn't realize that this had anything to do with my growth. Um, I just knew it was my jealousy, and I have been working on my jealousy. I didn't realize that it might have been associated with a different part of my growth. So I tried to calm down. Um, my signs gave me indication that I was not separated, and I was just like really ecstatic. And then I felt dumb because I'm like, you know, maybe my soul just decided to go through this type of pain while I'm here on earth. So let me just rock with it, but I'm not going to rock with it to the point where I'm like throwing myself all over the place and all of that. No, I'm not going to do that. But I'm not going to fight the feelings. I'm going to allow them to come and pass. And basically, that is what I did. And in the interim of them being me, or me being them, I reached out to my spiritual, my human spiritual guide in an email, and I was straight up with her. I was like, this is what he told me, and I expressed happiness for him, but I don't want to hear that right now. I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to hear about his wife. I don't want to hear about this, because I don't have a good feeling about this. And I was like, I don't like that I feel like this. Does his SO is his SO gonna cause a problem? And the reason that I ask that is because I know that he's going through transition, just like we're all going through transition. Um, but I more so I feel a lot. I am I'm a being that I get my information from energy and frequencies and feelings, wavelengths, and stuff like that. Um, that's how I get my messages from my guides, and feelings, a lot of feelings also. So and I'm able to feel other people's energy also. So, and I feel his energy. So I might not know what he's thinking, but I feel his thoughts, and they like turn into words. They turn into pictures, and I have seen like glimpses of what he's going to experience. I have heard parts of conversations. Um, so yeah, when he told me that I was not happy, I went home, um, had an emotional temper tantrum, and as I was writing the email to my human spiritual guide, my twin sent me an email. I listened to his email, which happens to be a recording, and it was quite interesting. Very interesting. What he was saying and the questions that he had, and he was basically uh, just recording the thoughts that were going through his mind at one point. And I wrote everything down that he said. And it's very interesting because it lines up with the energy of the month. It lines up with the energy of October. And the energy of October was such that we were going to start to look at the things that didn't necessarily add value to our life, or the things that were of no use to us anymore. We were going to start making plans to clear that stuff out so that in November we could continue that clearing out and start making the plans for putting things new in those old places. Um, so, yeah, he was definitely doing that. He told me that he cleared out storage one day. In the recording, he also said that he has to change his candle from orange to blue, and he didn't want to put the blue candle on top of the orange one. He had he was compelled to clean out the entire container that held the candle and then put the blue one in. We are approaching the end of a 7-year cycle, and he's aware of that also. Um, so, oh, I was either supposed to see him on Thursday or Friday. That didn't work out. Wasn't too happy about that. Then, so my spiritual advisor. So after I got the email, I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. After I got the email from him on the 31st, I felt more reassured because the things that he was saying in the recording matched directly up with the energy, and I've connected the dots already. I've already connected the dots to the end result, which is us reuniting in a divine reunion. He has not connected the dots, and one of the things that he kept on saying in his recording was connect the dots, synchronicities also. And I've been talking to him about synchronicities. He has been saying connect the dots. I have been talking to him about connecting the dots when he starts the conversation, because I feel like if I start the conversation, I'm going to connect the dots for him, and I cannot do that. I feel like I cannot do that. So I don't. So the recording, at the end of the recording, I felt like he was like this close to saying it, but he just didn't get it. So Saturday came along, supposed to see him, didn't happen. At this point, I'm like, you know what? Whatever, because I see him on the astral plane anyway, so we might as well just get the work done there first. So Sunday comes around, and he's like calling me my pet name, the pet name that he calls me, and using the cute little smileys with the heart eyes. And it's like when he sent me that stuff, it just like instantly made me feel the connection again. Like, how could I possibly think that just because he did something with somebody else or told somebody something else or something that I already know, and even if he didn't tell me, I would already know it anyway. How could I possibly think that the connection isn't there? Like, what is wrong with me, really? No, okay, so let me go back, rewind. So my spiritual advisor replies, and she tells me it's okay. It's just a phase. It's a phase in the twin flame connection whereby he will, because I guess he is the flame who runs from the attraction, runs from the energy. um, he will try to put somebody else into the place of me or my energy. Um, and this is what he will do with his SO, and that's normal. But he's gonna eventually realize and move towards his true purpose and towards where he's supposed to be. So that was pretty reassuring. Also, so then yes, Saturday came around. She sent that to me. We communicated. Sunday came around. Like I said, I was feeling. If I see him, I see him. If I don't, I don't. So he told me that he would swing by me at a certain time. So I was like, oh, okay. So I went out to get something for my mother. Just so happened that his plans changed and he got to me before I got home to, get ready to go see him. So anyway, I got ready real quick. Went to see him, and once again, I communicated with his guides. And I asked his guides, okay, first, let me say this. First, we watched an exercise from Bashar, and Bashar is a channeled entity. My twin channels his guides. So he likes Bashar, so we exchange a lot of information when we see each other, which is great. Like I even if I don't see him, I know that we're exchanging information. But I'd like the face to face, because there's so much more energy involved with it, and I feed off of energy. Like I feel like I'm on a spiritual high when I'm around him. I know when he's in close proximity to me because my stomach starts hurting like crazy. So anyway, we did some spiritual work. We watched the Bashar exercise, and we didn't really like put all of ourselves into the Bashar exercise. At the end of the Bashar exercise, they said, do this for 30 days, and you're gonna notice synchronicities start happening more frequently. A synchronicity happened right after we watched it. I said to him, oh, you know that wheel of Dharma, the mudra that you do, because his guides communicate with when he channels his guides and they communicate with him, he does mudras with his hands, and that's how he's able to tell the difference between them, because they all have different flow with his hands. So I said to him, because we were doing research on the different mudras that he does so that we could find out what they mean, what chakras they're associated, just basically everything. So when we did the research, when I did the research, really, because I really love doing research, and to be honest, he doesn't have as much time as I have to do research, so I don't have a problem doing the research, reading, and like picking out the points that I see on every website, and giving him the websites also, so that he could read it on his own and get his own, take on it. But yeah, that's just a side note about me. I absolutely love research. Yeah, so did the research, gave him the information and everything, and he did his research also. Let me stop playing. Like, he did his own research. Let me stop, okay? Oh, FYI, one of my guys is a funny guy. I'll tell you about my guys too. So yeah, this is the funny guy that was like, yeah, he's not. So we shared information, but at this time, after we watched the video, I was like, yeah, so the Wheel of Dharma, the Wheel of Time, those 5 Buddhas that make the different mudras that we were talking about. Yeah, the Wheel of Dharma, that is associated with prana, and prana from universe and also your own prana. Um, and he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. So he pulled out his eye peach. I call anything apple eye peach. He pulled out his eye peach and he has the app for sacred geometry visionary deck cards. They're tarot cards. And he said to me, I want to show you something. So I was like, all right, cool. And I read tarot. Yay, I read tarot. So I'm like, cool. You want to show me a card? Cool. So he touched the card that he drew yesterday. And the card was New Beginning. It was a picture of a woman holding a baby, blowing um, life into the baby and looking at the baby like this. At the bottom of them was a circle with a heart, a couple of hearts, and it was really cute. So I just looked at him and I was like, he was like, I drew this yesterday. I was like, is that right? And he was like, don't you want to read it? I was like, no, let me tell you what the card is about. And I was like, the card is about starting a new energy, new beginnings. He was like, okay, so flip it up. So, read what it means. So I hit the option to read the meaning, and prana was in every sentence of the meaning of this card. Talk about synchronicities instantaneously. Wow. Okay, so anyway, after that synchronicity happened between he and I communicated with his guides so that I could find out the identity / characteristics / names of my guides. And guess what? I was able to identify all 10 of them. All 10. 10 to 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 to 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Guess what? My birthday is on the 10th day of the year, of the month. No, on the serious side, I am so grateful to be able to experience this and share it with you.
It's 8 o'clock.
I'll tell you about that later. Yeah, I really am. I'm really grateful. The guides know I'm grateful. Universal Creator knows I'm grateful. Yeah, I really am grateful. So in communicating with his guides, I ask questions and he will give me yes or no answers. Not verbally, it'll be yes, no, or whatever his hands are doing. And I feel the energy. So even if he didn't do yes or no, I would still feel what the guides told me the answer were. I asked if all 10 of his guys were present. They said no. I asked if all 10 of my guys were present. They said yes. I asked a series of questions that would have allowed them to say yes or no and allowed me to identify my 10 guides. I asked, these are the type of questions I asked. Is one of my guides directly associated with energy, meaning turning my computer on and off randomly? And I got the yes. So one of my guides deals directly with energy and electronics. Basically, the next series of questions I asked just like that, and I got the thumbs up. When I got down to my last three guys that I were not able to identify, it took me a couple more than one. I had to ask more than one question to identify them. Okay, let me try to remember them correctly and bear with me. I have a guide that communicates with me through my heart chakra. I have a guide that communicates with me through my sexuality. I have a guide that communicates with me through creativity, like dancing. I have a guide that communicates with me through writing, either my writing or other people's writing. I have a guide that communicates with me through electronics, like I said, the computer. I have another guide that communicates with me through humor. He's very funny. He or she is very, very funny. And I know that this guide likes these because I asked his guides and they said yes. My guides were there. Also, I have a guide who communicates with me when I'm in a zone. Like, I usually zone out. I'm usually zoned out. Like, yeah. So I was actually just communicating, like, with that guide that I zone out to. I have another guide that um, mm, that communicates with me by allowing me to see glimpses of the future. I have my ninth guide is a guide that's like a little child. She won't really let me communicate with her. I need to work some more to communicate with her. Like, I have to warm up to her. I tried to communicate with her yesterday actually, and I felt like she started hollering and screaming and crying all over the place. Um, so I was just like, I'm sorry, I'll leave you alone for right now. And then my 10th guide. This is horrible that I cannot remember my 10th guide. This is a shame. Bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna get my book because I wrote it down. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna get my book so I can tell you what the 10th guide is. I should have had this stuff with me already. You know, shame on me, right? Shame on me. So my 10th guide is oh man, how could I forget this guide? My 10th guide is, and I listed them in no particular order. I don't know. I don't but I will find out who I've known the longest, who is new. I definitely will, but um, it was more important for me to be able to identify them at this point. So my 10th guide is a guide that communicates with me by, how do I say it? Like, she gives me confidence, you know? Like, she's like that, like that, like, girl, are you crazy? You better do that? Are you serious? Like, oh, like, L. Yeah, I know who this guide is. She's like the attitude, confidence guy. Definitely, definitely. How can I forget about her? I'm so sorry. So yeah, his guides helped me identify my guide. So I was very, very happy and grateful about that. And then I started asking the guides a series of questions regarding. I asked, will he eventually connect the dots to what I think the outcome is going to be? They said yes. Now, I asked questions like that because I did not, I feel like I cannot talk to him about twin flames. No. Mm-mm. He's not ready. Um, mm-mm. Like, I've mentioned it to him in the past when I didn't know, um, I didn't know a lot about what was really going on. Um, just as a, oh my God, this is what I think is happening. This is what I think is happening. That's how I mentioned it to him. And I got the impression that he was like, here is Elle again with this romantic shit. Like, oh my God. Like, why does she have to turn everything into a romance with me? So I got that impression from him after I mentioned it. And natural impression, because I turn everything into romance. Everything. So I very rarely mention it. Very, very rarely. The last time I mentioned it was when I was doing research on starseeds, and I happened to come across some information from a starseed who happened to be a twin flame. I just mentioned that to him. I didn't mention anything else. I didn't mention how I connected the dots, that even if he does think that he's a starseed, that's quite possible, and it's also quite possible that, being that he is a starseed, he also made a contract to be in a twin flame relationship. I did not want to, because like I said, I go on feelings. So and I asked questions along those lines, but I didn't say twin flame. I didn't say connection between and I. So yeah, I just basically asked questions along those lines. I didn't say twin flame. I didn't say connection between he and I. I did not. I didn't use any terminology like that at all, or ask questions that may have linked he and I romantically. I may have asked questions that linked he and I with regards to spiritual growth and spiritual knowledge, but not he and I coming together, which is quite interesting. So I might have asked a question like, I did ask this question: Is the sixth that I keep on hearing and seeing and feeling referring to my twins? But I didn't say my twins. I said his name. Let's just say my beloved. My beloved's connecting the dots and realizing what I realized, and they said yes. So the 6 months that I might have said in past videos is 6 is the 6 months. Within 6 months time period, this is what I found out from the questions that I asked. Within a 6-month time period, my beloved will connect the dots to the fact that he is in a twin flame energy. He's in a twin flame relationship with me. Within a year after that 6 months, he and I will be on the road to divine union. I asked that question of the guides, but I didn't ask like that. I asked more along the lines of, within a year of him finding out, of him connecting the dots to what I have connected the dots to, will he transition down the road and come to the end result that I feel in my heart and soul is his end result? And they said yes. Like, they know what I feel. They know what's in my heart. They know that I want this reunion, and it's not just it's not because of a physical attraction. There is a physical attraction, but when I'm around his energy, I can't even it's like so hard to explain. I grow more. I'm stronger. I identify with my powers more. I am able to help people more. I'm centered. It's very difficult for me to put into words. Um, but basically, they know what's in my heart and in my soul. So they reassured me that everything that I have been recording is predictions of the future. I asked that question. Are my recordings predictions of the future? They said yes. Thumbs up, yes. So I know that my recordings are predictions of the future. Now check this out. After I asked all of the questions, I was just so overwhelmed. It was crazy. Um, before we parted, he said to me, you know, so I said to him, because now I felt comfortable enough to say to him, so what was the outcome of you having the conversation with your SO? And he expressed to me that it was um, uh, an outcome that was welcomed by him. Now he feels that she understands or has a better understanding, even if she doesn't completely agree or understand. She has a better understanding, which is great. Um, but then he said to me, "But she made a joke. Oh, so now you're gonna leave me?" Because he said to her, "Well, I just want to fly." So she was like, "Oh, so now you're gonna leave me?" I said, "Well, on the astral plane you already do fly. One of our first astral, one of the first astral encounters that I remember with him, um, how do I say this? After he's been awake, after he's woken up, he flew. He flew like Superman, and it was so beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It was so, oh my God, it was so beautiful to see him fly. And I told him that I saw him flying, and he was flying. He was like, "Really? Really? I could fly?" I was like, "Yeah." I told him when I saw it. And I saw it back in August. And I've expressed it to him a couple of times. He's like, "Really? Really? I fly on the astral plane?" I'm like, "Yes, you do fly on the astral plane. You do. You do." So it was quite ironic that his wife said that, because in my mind, I heard and felt a couple of things. Oh, how could I forget? I asked if I asked if not in direct words, if his SO um, represents a challenge. Yes, his SO represents a challenge. I didn't want to ask if the challenge would be overcome because I already know it's going to be overcome. Um, I asked if I was allowed to help him connect the dots. They said I was allowed to give assistance. I'm not allowed, and I felt like I'm not allowed to bring the conversation up. If he brings it up the conversation, sure, but I shouldn't bring up the conversation. I'm allowed to send them love, his guys' love, but I should not try to communicate with them directly. Um, Super cool with that. um, what else did they reveal to me? Um, they know that all of the questions that I asked, I already know the answers to. So I already know that at the end of the day, at the end of the day, he's going to connect the dots and realize that we are twin flames. Um, he's going to run. There's going to be challenges for both of us, but I am not to be involved. I am so not to be involved on any level. I don't want to be involved on any level with that, but he's going to confide in me. And I just wanted to, I asked them those questions because I wanted to be reassured of so many things. Number one, I wanted to be reassured of my gifts and the information that I was getting. Um, I wanted to be reassured of this connection and my purpose. Um, and some other information, like I'm feeling like I was feeling like perhaps his SO is like a more lower vibrating entity. Um, yeah, that is like has not started sucking his light, but will start sucking his light. And this is what I think is going to happen within the 6 month period. I don't mean to laugh. Within the 6 month period, he's going to connect the dots, like I said, and realize that he's in a twin flame relationship, connection, energy field with me. Um, he is going to try to put his wife in the space of where I am. She's gonna do her best to try to fill it for a certain period of time, but it's not gonna be true, and it's not her passion, so it's just not gonna work out. And that's where challenges and growth occur for both of us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I got some work cut out for me. I'm so looking forward to the synchronicities that are to come. I'm hearing that December is supposed to be a really great month. So I'm excited about December, but I don't know what's gonna happen. But I feel like it's gonna be really, really great. A really, really great month for everybody. I think that what is really happening now um, is that everybody is making way for their purpose and newness in their lives. And I was talking to one of my girlfriends today, as a matter of fact, and I was trying to explain to her that sometimes when we experience things that do not feel good to us, we experience them for the betterment of us, um, to help us grow in some type of way. But we just have to like really dig deep and look at why we really have those more negative type feelings about certain things, or when we don't get what we think we deserve or what we want. Especially, I find for myself, especially in those times, um, when I don't get what I want, it's for the betterment of me, because whatever it is that I wanted, there's something waiting for me that's 50,000 zillion, cajillion, infinite times better for me. Um, I just don't know. My perspective is just too narrow. And it hurts. That's why it hurts, because my perspective is too narrow. And my soul is trying to bust out because it's so huge and big. And your soul does the same thing. It tries to bust out because it's so huge and big by nature. And that's why it hurts, because your soul is finally busting out of this narrow perspective. And then you get it. Then you get the message, you get the knowledge, you get the information, you get the lesson, and then after that, you get so much more than you ever thought. That's the cool thing about it. But until we are able to kind of tweak, the way we look at things, um, then we'll go through temper tantrums like I went through. And I'm okay with going through temper tantrums because I like the knowledge and everything else um, that comes along with the darker side. I'll talk about that also. I'm going to talk about, I think, yeah, maybe I'll talk about that in the next vlog, the dark side um, of this energy. The dark side. Yeah, that sounds so sexy. Oh God, see, that's my sexy guy, the dark side. Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do that vlog next. So yeah, fam, thank you so much for staying with me all of this time. I talked your ear off. Yeah, it's all about growth. Okay, it's all about growth. It's all about growth. It's all about growth. Um, it's all about growth. Yeah, that's what the guys wanted you to know. So I am happy that you were able to take the time out of your busy schedule and listen to me ramble on about my life and what's going to happen in my life. I do want to say that everybody learns, everybody grows in this situation, everybody. Um, and I look forward to that. I really, really look forward to that. Like I know everybody is gonna grow. Even those people that I don't know. So yes, fam, I hope that you have a wonderful day and I will talk to you later.